everyone. So I'm going to continue to do my series of videos on the different sun signs and the people who love them. And now I am doing the sign of Leo. So I did pick 3 cards to represent Leo. And they are right in front of you. You can see them there. And so before I explain why I picked these cards, Leo is a fixed fire sign, and Leo is a sign associated with creativity. Leo rules the 5th house, which deals with issues around love, creativity, children, including conceiving children, pastimes like enjoyment, entertainment, that sort of thing, and what else? Your own business, like if you have a home business. So these kind of things, because even like home businesses, I don't like the term home business, but your own business is something that is part of your creative self-expression also. So Leo tends to be a larger-than-life sign, very romantic, and wanting to be the center of attention. Obviously, this is a broad brush kind of a analysis, because it's based just on the characteristics alone. It doesn't take into account where the sun is placed. The sun could be placed in the 12th house, and the person would be a lot more retiring, a lot more behind the scenes. But in general, somebody with a prominent Leo, like on the sun or even the moon sometimes, but the ascendant, Mars, can be very, very, just look at me. And so they're natural performers. So these videos are intended for anybody who loves a Leo person. And it could also be a parent to a child. So if you have a child who is a Leo, are you providing them opportunities to express their creativity? Even if a Leo person is a natural athlete, I think that it would always be a good idea to make sure that they can express themselves creatively as well, because they may have that side to them. And so, I guess that's true. It'd be good to do that with every child, but especially with Leo, because Leo tends to be artistic in some way. The 5th house, I said creativity. Well, of course, that includes any kind of artistic abilities. But, creativity can, run the gamut. I mean, it could be writing, it could be painting, it could be dancing, it could be an actor, singer, any kind of performer, especially the performing arts, the entertainment industry is really something that we associate with Leo. Leo people tend to get the reputation, I was going to say, of being attention whores. And you have to understand something. Leo is ruled by the sun. Now, the sun is everything to us. And so in a healthily balanced Leo personality type, where the shadow aspects are not coming out too much, that type of, what would you call it? That would be something that we would see in that person. So the healthy Leo is like someone who is at the center of a group of people. So they may be the centerpiece, and other people that other people kind of gather around. And it's not something like a narcissistic situation. It just naturally occurs. I was reading about Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and David Crosby, and of course he was in the Byrds too. And I think I was reading Graham Nash's biography, and he was saying, I keep hearing that David Crosby, who is a Leo, was kind of like the focal point, or it's not really that everybody's focused on him, but he is the sun to everybody else's, in his life. And so his warmth was something that everyone kind of fed off of, and it nourished them. Okay, so when you have a Leo person who is well balanced, they can really provide this sense of community for other people around them. Or let's say that they own a company, or they're a boss. They really kind of, create that wonderful workplace where other people feel like they're part of one big happy family. And that's, I was going to say the other side of that is if you have a Leo person who, for whatever reason, is more expressing the shadow aspects of things, they can be very, very tyrannical, what we call petty tyrants. They can throw their weight around. They can be very domineering. And everything I just said before is the opposite. They turn out to be very controlling, volatile, and, never satisfied. But the balanced Leo is somebody who is extremely dignified. They are warm-hearted. They forgive easily. They're very nurturing of other people and their talents, and encouraging of them. Leo, being a fire sign, is going to typically be a very positive sign. So they are going to be very inspirational to other people as well. And so this is something that is helpful when you're in a relationship with a Leo person. You have to be a positive person. Do not expect, okay, let's say the first sign I thought of was like a Pisces, but I don't want to pick on Pisces. It could be a Cancer. Let's say it's a Cancer. If you have complaints, about something, make sure that you frame them in a kind of a can-do type of an attitude instead of just whining, because a Leo person doesn't appreciate that very much. They want to be very proactive. They want to see things in the context of trying to fix them, not simply complaining about what isn't getting done. So they will, see you in more of a negative light if you do not approach things from a more positive perspective. They might think that you are not really, I don't know how you put it, maybe that you're like a bummer, that you're dragging down their energy and things like that. So you want to be high energy. And if you feel like they are being Pollyannas, then you need to be with somebody else, because this is how they roll. And as I've said in previous videos, we have to accept people as they are. If there's something that they need to change, that's a different story. And you can certainly talk to people about that, but you can't demand anybody do anything. Even if somebody's a falling down drunk, you can't demand that they be different. And so, so anyway, I'm going to look at these, or show you these cards, because I want to kind of tell you why I picked them. Now, the two cards from my Morgan Greer deck that I use all the time are cards directly associated in some way. This one is directly associated with Leo, number 8. Of course, the 8th month is August, and that's Leo's month, or at least one of Leo's months. And you see she's holding that lion, and she's taming the lion. Now, I always had a thing with the Strength card about associating with Leo, because I don't really see Leo as being all about strength per se. I see Leo as being more of the Sun card. But the Strength card in the Tarot, in part, deals with endurance and kind of if you know, the symbolism of that card of somebody like overpowering a lion is somebody who is taking the challenges of life in stride because they have that innate power within them. And for sure, I see Leo as a sign of leadership. I mean, it is seen that way. It's not a cardinal sign, but it is a fire sign. And fire signs tend to be leaders because they are very individualistic. They have their own ego that they wish to express. And people have overused the word ego to just mean narcissism. And certainly Leo in its more of a shadow aspect can be quite narcissistic. This is when Leos don't feel secure, confident. They try to rely on bragging or arrogance. You know, there are some qualities that Leo does not want to kind of express. You know, arrogance, which also can be like, what's that word? That means, snobbiness. Leo can tend to be, it can rival Capricorn in being a social climber. But for Leo, it's all for the ego's glory. For Capricorn, I think it's more of a desire to, it's not so much that they want to show off, they want to them, it's kind of like their mission to be, secure and having a strong foundation. So maybe security minded. But for Leo, it's the aggrandizement of the ego, in talking about it in a negative light, when Leos feel like they have to be better than other people, or to compare their life to somebody else's. But in the higher expression, Leo can be the heart and soul of whatever it is that they're involved with. If they're in love with somebody madly, they are the one that will maintain that relationship. Even when the other person has kind of slacked off, the Leo person loves fiercely. And they're very protective. They're very warm-hearted, very generous, that generosity. But I don't know, there's something about the word strength that I just do not associate with Leo. I would say endurance. And perhaps that is kind of like the same thing, because they are enduring, ever enduring. And their fixed nature can make them very, very loyal to their friends, to their family, but especially to their romantic partner. A Leo person who cheats probably feels, either is expressing their lower nature, so they want that admiration by constantly going from person to person, or they're not receiving that love from their partner. They're not receiving that warmth. They are looking for that connection. But all of the fixed signs, and it's not just Leo, but Aquarius and Taurus and Scorpio, all those fixed signs would share that quality of endurance, of consistency. And this is because fixed signs are very persevering. They keep going on and on. And this is what assures them success, because they don't get deterred by any challenges. And then the other tarot card, and this is the ruler of Leo, the Sun card. I totally identify that the qualities of this card. This is considered one of the most positive cards in the deck. And of course, there's people in love depicted. So that fifth house of romance. It also can deal with creativity. Anything that you're saying yes to, anything that you have wanted. When you get the Sun card in a reading, you're always like, oh, great, my dreams are going to come true. But it can also, and I really do see the creative aspect, because even with two people coming together, one of the things that can be produced is a child. So it really is a card of life and joy. And that's what I see with Leo, that you feel that sense of life with them. They do try to make life colorful, not bland. If we didn't have Leo people in the world, we'd just be going about our mundane lives and never having a sense of something bigger than ourselves. And this is what Leo brings to the table. And it's so wonderful to have that quality. Now, I did pick a card from the Keepers of the Light deck that I've been having fun with quite a bit. And not looking at it in terms of, this heavy meaning, just like some of the key words here that I saw. And I picked Krishna, because I know that Krishna, and it says devotion, and I was thinking of that love quality. And Krishna, the Hindu god, is very, very flamboyant, and you see that he's got that peacock feather in his hair, on his hat or whatever. And that is the symbol, I think it's a symbol of opulence or something. But it's, if you think of a peacock, that's kind of like a Leo bird probably, because it's like, it should be. It's really like this show-offy, the male peacock, or well, I guess that's what they call them. Peahens are the female. But the peacock is like showing off their beautiful colors, and there's this sense of opulence, this sense of not just beauty, but grandeur. And that is what Leo is all about. They want the world to be a place where things are not gray, where things are full of life, things are full of energy and excitement and joy, creativity, all of the good stuff in life. So if you love a Leo person, make sure that you're loyal. Make sure that you are not going to be competitive with them to be the center of attention. That you can let them shine, because this is what they do. It's not just on an ego trip, unless, of course, they are really expressing that lower side. But it's really just what they came here to do. They came here to entertain us. And even if they never go into show business, they will always make our lives more interesting and more colorful. And we should all be grateful to the warmth that Leos provide us. So I hope you enjoy this, and take care, you guys. Bye.